Hello YouTube, and welcome to a new series. I'm calling this First Impressions with Rockley Smile, and today we're looking at Shoot Many Robots by Demiurge Studios. This is a crossover, sort of hybrid RPG action platformer, best characterized by some of the things that you might find in Borderlands and Team Fortress 2 and maybe Contra. So, the idea behind this series is I take just a few minutes to start out, sort of go over the pros and cons of what you might run into at the beginning of the game, what my impressions are, and how I think this game's going to shape up. So, as I already said, with the pedigree involved as far as Borderlands and Team Fortress, these sort of bits and pieces add up to something that's greater than the sum of its parts. And this game is definitely outstanding. It's only $10 on Steam, and it's best played with friends if possible, but even by yourself, I already had a great time just playing the first level. And I did play it a few times because I actually had to record this a few times. The video and the audio weren't in sync, and there was all kinds of issues, but I got that all sorted out now. So the game's very simple. It's very unpretentious. There's not a lot to worry about. I mean, it's the title says it all. Shoot many robots, that's what you're going to do. It's a basic run-and-gun shooter with some RPG elements. You're picking up these bolts. You're going to spend those as currency towards weapons and items and costume bits. And you're going to be able to sort of form your own custom class as you're playing the game. And there's quite a few bizarre weapons to unlock. There's quite a bit to see and do in this game. It's a decently long game as far as I can tell. Now, I did have to play the beginning a few times, like I said, but I didn't actually progress beyond this first stage. I just kept playing the beginning over and over again. But one thing I did notice that is sort of a con is that I was having a little trouble figuring out what you're supposed to do if you want to manage your save. Because I basically just wanted to try the tutorial level again for you guys so you could watch. And it seems like you can't really get rid of your save in any reasonable, easy way once you've started one. And I even tried to open up the Steam folder and looked for an obvious save file there, and I didn't actually find one. So it seems like there's no way to manage that from within the game, and even out of the game seems like it's not obvious. And I'm sure it can be done, I just didn't know where to look. So that's one little minor thing. Another minor thing that, a little bit of a gripe for me, is that there doesn't seem to be a way to have your 360 controller natively supported. Which, for a game that actually came out on PSN and Xbox Live Arcade, it seems like a no-brainer that there would be controller support for it. Now, I'm playing right now with the mouse and keyboard, WASD keys, and that's fine, and I have no problem with the controls, and in fact, I'll dare say I actually really like the controls. I think they're very responsive, and I think that they work quite well. Just for people who prefer a controller, I don't see why there isn't support for one, and maybe there's one coming, support for it coming in a patch or something, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, as it is, mouse and keyboard it is. So as you progress through this level, you fight more and more little kind of silly, not too difficult robots, and I'm sure they get much harder as the game progresses. The one little gimmicky thing is you can punch back the red bullets by using your melee, which is right-click. And that works just fine. It's not like it's hard to remember. And you also have a little slide move, which you can use sometimes, and there's barrels, as with most games. And it reminds me a lot of playing Claptrap's Revolution on Borderlands, the way the art style and the shooting robots elements sort of come together. But I'm looking forward to playing this online with Anza. I think this is going to be a great time. I enjoy any kind of level grindy sort of games, with RPG elements, and especially when there's stuff to collect. This is like exactly the type of stuff I love to play. So I would dare say that for $10, I'm not sure you could do much better. Those two minor gripes aside. I did also notice there's very little in the way of options and controls for your setting up your video modes. I mean, obviously you can change the resolutions and all of the basic stuff, but there aren't any more granular, refined detail elements. Like, you can only turn the resolution up and down, you can't turn particle effects down or change anything to do with the rendering, anti-aliasing or anything. So if your computer may not run this, I mean, yeah, you can turn the resolution down, that'll definitely help. But if it's something worse than that, it's probably not going to give you much control. And as far as I know, there's not a demo available, so you're just going to want to make sure that your specs match up fine. So we're reaching the end of the very first level, and as you saw, it was definitely on the easy side, and I forgot to show you, I have an RPG launcher as my secondary weapon, and those actually have ammo, whereas your main weapon does not. So as far as a boss goes, this is definitely a bit on the easy side, and you can see the life bar ticking down pretty quickly. And I believe this will probably scale in difficulty with more people, or at least I would hope it would, because this would be very easy to do with a few friends. And there are also 2 other difficulty modes, and I'm guessing those are also going to scale with how much reward you get for completing levels with them. Oh, you can shoot the dead chunk and get more nuts. Neat. So the way it works with the currency is you collect these nuts throughout the level, and as you maintain a kill chain, you actually get multipliers on the amount of nuts that you get at the end. And then you can use those nuts to spend on items that you found in crates during the course of the level. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So this is a summary. I got 4 out of 5 stars on that one, collected 600 nuts, and then it's going to throw those nuts over here because this would be where all the other people's profiles would show up. And then I get some bonus nuts for being awesome. And then it shows me all of the weapons that I found. Weapons and costume decoration type items. And I believe these will also modify stats as well. So on top of leveling up, you also have a minor inventory system, which is definitely going to help with the replayability, and there seems to be a lot of replayability. So it's also nice enough to show you a leaderboard at the end where you see your rank versus each other and out of the total global numbers. And you get to even see how many nuts you got versus your friends. So this could be a fun way to compete also if you have a bunch of people playing the same game at the same time. So it drops you back in your RV at the end. This is sort of like your hub area. And over here is where you access your weapons and inventory slots. And through this, you can actually go over to the store. And these are the weapons that I've unlocked already. And down here, these are the ones that I have not. So I have the ability to discover these 2 still, or all of these for that matter, and you'll see it goes down very far. And this is level 50, and that takes 544,560 nuts to unlock that last weapon. So I imagine this is going to take quite a while to unlock everything. But once you get enough nuts, if you have the ability to buy them based on your level, then you can do that right here, and then add it to your inventory and equip it. Right now I'm still using the default equipment, and I did buy a cowboy hat, which you can throw on real quick. And there it is on my character. Nothing big. But I'm very happy with the fact that the weapons not only are cosmetically different, but they have very different functions, and you can actually sort of form your own custom classes by customizing what sort of, shirts, pants, hats, accessories, and all that, and then your weapons themselves. So you can actually form sort of an identity within a group if you're playing with some friends. And I imagine that although this will take quite a while to unlock everything, it'll happen eventually, and at that point they'll probably swoop in with some DLC, and in this case, as long as they do it reasonably and it's not overly expensive, I won't have a single problem with it. This seems like the exact type of game that could use DLC to its best and not come across as being exploitive, because it's just it's a fun game, and it's not driven by story, it's not driven by anything but just enjoyment with friends. Or even by yourself, and just for those of us who are just very happy to level up characters for all eternity like I am in Borderlands, this is going to be still fun. So, that's a quick summary of Shoot Many Robots, and this is my first impressions, and let me know if you enjoyed this segment, and I will be doing several more of these with my other Steam games soon. Let me know what you think. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day. Hit me up in the comments. Later.